Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today I'm going to be reviewing a hotel for you guys. The particular hotel is the Cabana Beach Resort. The Cabana Beach Resort Hotel is one of the 3-star value hotels, on-site hotels that you can stay at over at Universal Orlando. So I'm actually going to start with the pros and then move on over to the cons. The fact that this is a value resort is one of the positives on my list, because it is a 3-star, it's a value, but it is a very well done 3-star value resort, I feel personally. You're going to be paying a lot less than what you would if you would stay at some of the other Universal Orlando on-site hotels, such as, for example, Sapphire Falls, Portofino Bay, Hard Rock. I thoroughly enjoyed my stay here. It is themed to like the retro 1950s, 1960s kinds of era. It is that kind of style, and I love all of the retro stuff, and I feel like if you're somebody who also loves a lot of that retro stuff, then this place could possibly be perfect for you. If you guys want to have a look at the Cabana Bay tour that I did when I was over there and when I was staying there, then I'll either link it in the description box down below, or you can find it in the September 2019 Florida holiday vlogs that I did. There's a playlist of it here on my channel, so you can check it out from there as well. We were in the Castaway building and we were in a family suite. The room was very, very clean. The room was ready waiting for us when we checked in. We had a great view. Aventura was just over the road, as was Sapphire Falls. And then over to our left, we got a lovely view of the theme parks, the Universal theme parks. So we got a great view of Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So we were looking at rides like Hulk, Doom, a Rip Ride Rocket we could see in the background as well. We didn't pay extra money for a pool view or anything like that. We didn't even ask for that kind of view when we checked in. We're on floor 4. So we weren't like, you know, down to the ground. We had a little bit of height, so that's what we could see. The hotel is themed very, very well. You feel like you have kind of been transported back to like the 1950s, 1960s. There are vintage cars on the front. It just screams that old school retro era. The family suite was very, very spacious. There was only 2 of us in there. The suites can sleep up to 6 people. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that you stuff 6 people in that suite, because I think that it would then be too cramped and too much. You know, if you're going for longer than a few nights, I wouldn't recommend stuffing 6 people into a family suite, as then I feel like it would be cramped. But for just me and my mum, it was absolutely amazingly spacious. We had more than enough room. We loved the little, you know, kitchenette area that you get, the little lounge area that you get, and then the separate bedroom area. That was very, very nice. I loved the toiletries that the room had on offer. We had a little bit of trouble because we actually booked with TUI. That's who we flew with. That's who we booked the package holiday with. And so when we booked, we actually got a $50 dining credit amount, but it was never ever mentioned. And so when we got to the hotel, we were having a few issues, but that was sorted. Every staff member that we spoke to in that hotel about anything was very, very nice. This hotel is absolutely great for families, especially families, I think, with younger children. Like, for example, you can go bowling in the bowling alley. You also have a massive pool area. There is a on-site pool slide. I saw a lot of little kids just really like going for it. There is also a little kids and baby water play area. There's also a sanded area. There is a lot of things to do when it comes to doing things with, you know, young children. Aventura, which is also another value on-site Universal Orlando hotel, it does cater for families still, don't get me wrong, but there's not as much there. It's not as much of a big resort. So, you know, there isn't as much there for you to do. So I would say that although something like Aventura does still target young families, I think that children maybe need to be a little bit older for something like Aventura, because there's not as much for them to do, if that makes any sense. Whereas Cabana Bay, it's very full on. It's like your children can do this, 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 and this. If you have a younger child, then Cabana Bay may be better for them as opposed to Aventura. But we're all different. We all have our preferences. That was just my kind of thought process with it all. The food was lovely. We ate a lot, both at the parks and the hotel, but really on a night time we would tend to go into the food court and have a burger or, you know, mac and cheese or something along those lines. And every single time that we ate in the food court, it was lovely. A positive with the food, especially with the burgers, if you order a burger, you will then watch it be made in front of you while you're in the line. A downside to having food made to order is that sometimes the burger line would get very long, people would get very impatient because their food was not done, and there would be a lot of waiting around. So that is a little bit of a negative, but if you can wait, it's worth the wait because the food was gorgeous, the burgers were made to order, and they were always piping hot, super tasty, and just really, really good. Obviously the food there is a little bit on the expensive side, but that is to be expected. I'm not going to put that as a con because these things are to be expected anywhere around the world. If you visit a theme park and you stay in one of the on-site hotels, the food is going to be a little bit more expensive. First con that I noticed pretty much straight away was that Cabana Bay is a very, very big resort, and therefore it can be a little bit daunting, especially if it's your first time there. Maybe you don't really know where everything is, and it's a little bit like, oh gosh. For those who are wondering, there is over 2,000 rooms at Cabana Bay's beach resort hotel. So it is a very big resort. It took me and my mum a little bit of time to get used to it. Once we did know where everything was, it was fabulous, it was great. But I'm just saying, for those who may be a little bit daunted at the thought of this big massive resort that they kind of have to get used to, they can't just, you know, chuck themselves right in and, you know where everything is straight away. Because it is big, it does take a little bit of time to get used to where things are. So yeah, it is a massive resort, and that can be a negative for some people. It just depends on the way that you look at things and your feelings and thoughts towards it, but I thought that it was definitely worth bringing it up. I'm going off a list, by the way, that I've wrote down. The burgers in the food court, I've already mentioned, they were cooked to order, so it did take a long time, especially if it was really, really busy during the prime busy periods. I've already mentioned that. Staff members, going back to the food situation, they also can very easily forget or mess up your order. When I was there, staff members basically just have to remember everybody's orders. We didn't see orders being written down. There was no electronic system in place when you would put your order in. So basically, you know, especially when it was very, very busy, people were messing up orders. People were forgetting things with their orders. And that's to be expected because there is no proper order system in place. Staff members are just having to try to remember everyone's orders. And I feel like that is a little bit of a negative because, you know, mistakes happen, but I feel like a better system, an ordering system could be put in place just to prevent those kinds of things from happening. A lot of people were getting angry at the poor staff members because they got their order wrong or they'd forgotten about their order or something like that. Just please put something in place in terms of the ordering system, just to help things along. We also had a drink deal on all the time when we were there. We basically got unlimited refills of drinks while we were in the hotel for the duration of our stay. That is really good. I think that it's great if you are there for, you know, a 2-week holiday or for a longer period of time. That's when you're really going to get your money's worth with things like that. But there are a lot of things that are really great about the Cabana Bay Beach Resort. The cons that I have, They're just, I guess, little tiny nitpicky things really, but overall, out of 10, I would give this resort a solid 8 or 9. I truly enjoyed my stay there, and we got a really good deal when we booked as well. I think it's got a great vibe, a great atmosphere. I really would definitely recommend it to you guys if you haven't been. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I realise that it has been a very long one for you guys to sit through. I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and I very much hope to see you in my next video.